going on, everybody? You already know it's a new show. It's Thursday night. It's 7 p.m. Guys, it is the NFC East War Room. I'm your host, Paul Spencer, the Cowboy representative. And right next to me on that side over there is who?
Danny, representing the New York Giants. Go Big Blue.
And who do we have below that?
Oh, yeah, Mike Fuji, representing the Philadelphia Eagles. How are you? How you doing, guys? Let's get this show rocking. Oh, yeah.
Damn, Fuji, I tell you what, man, I thought you were going to bite into a fucking Slim Jim, bro.
Step into a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah. Get ready. Let's get ready for football.
Let's get it.
It's here. Let's get the party rocking. How you doing, guys? NFC War Room. Everybody debuting. How are you?
Let's go.
Man, Fuji, you know what? I might just pop a couple steroids in me or something after feeling you right there, bro. Like, come on now. But, guys, hey, listen, you know what? This is the debut of the War Room here, guys. We're all friends here. We trash talk each other. But the one thing I can say is as much shit as I talk, Dan, you talk, Fuji talks, and Steve will be joining us. But you know what, real quick, but Steve is our representative from the Commanders. Of course, he's a firefighter. So he's out doing his due diligence out there, saving the city out there, saving everybody out there. But it's not like a Commander fan to come in last place, always showing up late to the party, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
It's bad. It's bad. So whenever Steve joins us, he'll join us, of course. But guys, what I want to open the show with real quick is, how did you guys become a fan of your fan base? Dan, I'll start with you.
I became a fan in 1988 in the days of Phil Simms, Lawrence Taylor, Carl Banks, Bavaro, Jumbo Elliott. I used to watch games with my grandfather. He's a huge Giants fan since like the 30s. So he would watch them all the time. So that's how that's why I started watching football, and that's how I became a Giants fan. And so I had some great memories watching, obviously them win a Super Bowl in '90. So that's how I became a Giants fan, and go Big Blue.
Gotcha. What about you, Fuge?
Going back to the Ron Jaworski, Dick Vermeil days, my cousin had season tickets. I've been a season ticket holder myself for 35 years. Oh, I remember 1980, Cowboys, Eagles, Wilbur Montgomery, off right tackle, boom, took it in, sealed the deal. Eagles went to Super Bowl 15, got laid out by the Oakland Raiders. That was it. Then Buddy Ball, Jerome Brown, Reggie White, Eric Allen, Seth Joyner and company, Randall, and that was it. And that's why I got that tattoo right there. I don't know if anybody sees it, but
no, that shit was a little faded, bro. Just like your team there.
Well, I know your five trophies are a little tarnished. I know you still got those VHS tapes.
Well, you know what, Fuge? You know what? Let the shit talking begin. You know what, Fuge? Let the shit talking begin.
It's been a long ass time.
Hold on.
Ring the bell. Let's get the party started.
Wait, ring the bell is the Phillies. Wait a minute. Ring the bell is the Phillies shit.
Go.
Wrong sport.
November 5th. Let's get it rocking now. I'll meet you guys at the end of the season, John. We're up and down the field on Christmas at the combat zone at the lake. Merry Christmas. Season's beatings. It's coming down.
Hopefully the birds are coming down.
Yeah, exactly.
We're flying high.
Fuji, first I want to tell you something. I want to tell you, first of all, some Cowboy fans are still back in the days where they have VHS tapes. I've upgraded my shit to DVD. So don't start with my ass.
No,
okay?
it's about that time you upgraded it.
Like, come on, seriously. But you know what, Suge? I'm glad the Cowboys have something to do with your fandom, as you expressed that, memory there. So, you know what? I do have a part of your fan base there because it was because of my team that you're an Eagles fan. Am I right?
And this is another part that fired.
I didn't get a yes or no. Fuge.
Wait, repeat it. Now you got me all fired up. What was the question? Dallas
okay.
No, he said.
No, Dallas is superior. Okay, but right now we're in a little down slump. But listen, back in the day, it used to be good. Back in the day, back in the
down slump.
Hey, you shut up, Dan. Okay, all right. You'll get your chance.
We'll deal with you next.
Yeah, you're next. You're next on the damn totem pole.
Who's next?
But no.
In the words of Goldberg.
But no, Fuji, what I was saying is I'm glad Dallas has something to do with your fandom because you mentioned that memory about the Eagles and the Cowboys there. So that took you back down the path. So I'm glad we at least had something to do with your fandom becoming a Eagles fan. Am I right?
Exactly. And I don't want to really go back to that rivalry. But, when Dick Vermeil came in the Dallas Cowboys kicked the Eagles' ass up and down the field in the early 70s. Vermeil came in, turned the whole program, that locker room around. And, it's a shame he got burned out because, who the hell knows what.
Yeah, probably from all those ass kicking from the Cowboys, I'd fucking retire too.
As you say, you're America's team, but America was start right here in the city of brotherly love.
Well, some Cowboy fans would disagree because that trophy case has 5 there, and I only see 1 in your trophy case there in the city of brotherly love.
And 3 NFL titles, don't
we talk Lombardi trophies here, okay?
Well, the Cowboys didn't exist when the Eagles and the Giants
won back
NFL
to the old
titles.
school NFL.
See, there you go. There's my man Dan stepping in for the Cowboy platform. Well, the Cowboys didn't exist back then, so hey, we would have had 8 by then.
Well, then the Giants have like 8 NFL titles.
Well, shit, they're the Giants.
21 of them.
Once again, they're not the Lombardi trophies. That's all we care about. Okay.
Oh,
anyway,
John's gonna stomp on you guys this year. Swear.
Well, as for myself, guys, the reason why I became a Cowboy fan, it was in 1977. I was 6 years old. My dad was in the military. We went to California, going to Disneyland, and my dad took a U-turn. Well, not a U-turn, on purpose detour to Oxnard, California. And I was 6 years old. I didn't care. All I wanted to do was go see Mickey Mouse at Disney. And we went to see the Cowboys playing Oxnard, California preseason training camp. And the first person I ever met was Roger Staubach. And that was one of my fondest memories. I didn't know who the dude was. I could care less. All I wanted to do was go to Disney and see Mickey. And ever since then, I just became a Cowboys fan. And here I am, 52 years old, still repping my team. And it's been 27 years, and I still bleed.
Bleed green?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Let's get into a couple comments. Eileen says, LOL. Fuji, I think she's talking about your Slim Jim thing there,
Oh, yeah.
There you
Snap into a Slim Jim.
There we go. Also, we got Joe Sullivan say, what's up, Joe? What's up, fellas? Right after this, you're going to check out 93 Philly Squad, the old school show with Fuji's and Sean and Dave Yarnell and Joe Sullivan at 8:30 right after us. Check that out. Adam Glenn says, what's up? EAGL, shit the bed. Oh, that S, I thought that said
Go
shit
Birds!
the bed. I thought that S said shit the bed.
What's up, Adam? Go
Kenny
Birds!
Kenny Fry, you can check him out. Says, what's up, guys? You can check him out tomorrow night, Atomic Drop. Wednesday, The Bat Cave. So you can check him out everywhere. Joe Sullivan says, this is great. I agree. I agree. Something for everybody here. Paul, one of the reasons I respect you as a Cowboy fan is you keep a legit reason. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. But, guys, real quick, this wasn't one of our topics here, but I want to ask you, I'm just going to jump around here. Let's just talk about it. What pisses you off about each fan base? What pisses you off?
The fact that you're a Dallas fan and the fact that Fuji's an Eagles fan. I would say for the Eagles, probably cocky.
Good word.
A little arrogant, especially versus us because they've been kicking our ass all these years. For the Cowboys, similar, I would say.
Wow, really? Okay. What about the Commanders? I mean,
the Commanders, who gives a shit about them? No, I'm just kidding. The Commanders, I can't say I hate anything about their fan base. I don't know, really. They haven't been really good, so.
Well, you're really being nice tonight, Dan. You're really nice tonight.
Yep, I'm not a big shit talker, so.
Oh well,
but Dan. They are. Came
to the right place.
What about you, Fuji? What pisses you off? Let's start with the Commanders first, since Dan couldn't give me a reason. He's cool with them.
Oh hell no!
I don't know. In real 30 years, when did that buffoon Snyder buy them? 99, 98?
I think it was our late 90s. Yeah.
I mean, it seems like ever since the first time Joe Gibbs left, I mean, that franchise just went down the last 30 years. And, that buffoon Snyder, thank God they got him out. Not the Josh Well, we all know Josh Harrison, Philly, but, he tried playing fantasy football in 99. Bruce Smith, Deion Sanders, Jeff George, a couple other names I can't really think of, but, I mean, you got to give Washington a lot of props going back to those Theismann years with the posse, Art Monk, Ricky Sanders, Gary Clark, John Riggins, of course.
Sure.
The Hogs especially. And, they won those 3 Super Bowls in the 80s. I mean, they really haven't had much to cheer about, so hopefully, I think Ron Rivera is a I think he's a great coach. I think he's underrated. You know, maybe he'll get that franchise turned around finally, you know, for the sake of those fans. I'm sure they're basking in the glory now that Snyder's out.
Yeah, right. They're celebrating.
All those illegal allegations that scumbag did.
Yeah, that's exactly what Steve said. I mean, his show on Tuesday night, The Commander's Gridiron, he was telling me that the fan base, it's a different mentality down there, a different atmosphere with Josh Harris down there. You know, last game, preseason game, he didn't sit in the press box. He sat down with the crowd. You know, what owner would you see do that? You'll never see my fraud ass Jerry Jones do that. You'll never see that, you know? But what pisses you off about the Giants? I mean, their Fuge?
What pisses me? It's New York, you know, New York, Philly. We have that rivalry. You know,
95, that 95, yeah.
It's always going to be that, you know, turnpike. You know,
Yep.
You know, Philly's always going to be in the shadow of New York, of course. You know, we don't like you. You don't like us.
And Super Bowl probably forever.
Whether we go back to like Flyers, Rangers, Flyers, Devils, Phillies, Mets, you know, there's always that New York Philly rivalry that's just going to be what it is.
Sure. What about the Cowboy fans? I know you love me, bro.
No, you tell it like it is. I mean, the thing that cracks me up, I'll say to some Cowboy fans, were you a fan of the Cowboys back in '89 when they were 1-15?
Yes, exactly. Yes, that's 100% true. That's the one thing. Like Joe Sullivan says here, I don't like Dallas fraud fans. The ones that know football just talk. Giants fans, I never had an issue with because they're from New York. Same as Washington. That's my thing, Fuge. My thing with the Giants fans is I really don't disrespect Giants fans because they aren't really my rival. I love just listening to them play. But as Joe said, I don't like listening to people that talk about football and don't know shit about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
everything talking out of their ass.
Yeah, everything's opinionated. I understand it. Yeah, everything's opinionated. I understand that, but at least come with the X and O's and facts of what you see. At least pass the eye test of what you see before you talk about it.
Well, give me some analysis. Give me some
with
football.
With the Eagles fans, I only have one gripe about it. I grew up in the military. My dad was in the military, so we moved everywhere. Japan, as you know, Dan, you know, your host Stacy. We lived not lived together, but in the same area in Japan.
Yeah.
Moved all around. When I came to Philly in 1990, graduated, came to Philly in 1990. I had a Dallas Cowboys starter jacket. That was the one thing I really had to like.
The starter jackets. Was it the one with the Velcro thing on the front? The Velcro.
Dan, I don't freaking know, dude. I think you had to like
pull over.
I think you had to back in the day. I think you had to stitch your shit together. That's how old it was, you know. But like, I remember even today, the only gripe I have is Eagles fans saying, "You're a Cowboy fan, so you live in Philly. Why? Well, dude, I'm not a bandwagon fan. I've been since I can remember. Well, I would say like 1980 really is when I really became into football. Like age 10 is when I got into football. But I've been with my team ever since that day one. Lived through it, just like Fuge said, the 1-15s, the 3-13, the disappointing Aikman 2 years. You know, then it all turned around. But not once have you ever seen me say, I hate this team. This team sucks. I'm jumping ship. That's the one thing gripe about Philadelphia fans that I don't like. Some of them, not all.
No, I'll say this, and you know, people can comment, think that I'm an Eagles fan. I'm a diehard to the fullest. But if they suck, if they get their ass kicked, they got their ass kicked.
Very true. Very true.
I'm a realist, and I'm a football fan at that. I mean, it's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Adam says Cowboys fans lived in the past. You're right. I think every team does. I mean, look, you know, thank God I'm not a Browns fan or you know people like that. Like, good God, I mean, you know. But you're right. I mean, I live with my team. I cry with my team. I celebrate with my team. But at the end of the day, my thing is, as long as you're a fan of that team through year after year,
it don't matter how bad
it doesn't matter how bad you are.
I'll say this about Eagles fans. I mean, all right, Mariota stunk up the joint last week. You got people calling sports radio wanting to bring Nick Foles back. Now, here's the thing about Philly. We always want to go back in the past and bring somebody back. Mm-hmm. And I hate to say it, we all love those years and we hold on to them, but you know, in reality, you got to turn the page and go forward.
Sure.
I mean, you're always going to have those memories. You know, thank God for Nick Foles beating New England.
Right.
But, you know, the past is the past.
But I think what every fan always says, and you know, the Cowboys fans usually say this the most is what I hear. This is our year. Every year is our year. But I think every fan should have that same philosophy. Like, this is our year. No matter how you suck, how great you are, every year is a new year. Everybody starts 0-0 if I'm correct.
Yep.
But Kenny Fry says, I'm thankful to the NFC East. 2 of the 3 Raiders Super Bowls were won against the NFC East. I was able to watch them on my reel-to-reel projector. Now, see, that's a fan right there. You can check Kenny out. And guys, real quick, not to get off topic, but Kenny actually does the host of the Vegas Sports Scene. He will be coming out with a new show. The Vegas Sports Scene is going to be bye-bye in the next 2 or 3 weeks here. And Kenny's going to be doing his own show where he's a fan of the Raiders, of course, and, of course, the LA Kings. So it has the ties with the silver and black. So stay tuned to that. To be announced. Everything about that.
Nice.
Jill Solomon says, Ron Rivera is Jeff Fisher. What do you guys think about that?
I know Ron Rivera, he played for Buddy Ryan in Chicago. He was, played for Buddy here in Philly. Also, he was on Andy Reid's coaching staff for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go back to 91. They brought that buffoon in, Rich Kotite, who was the offensive coordinator,
right.
A puppet for Harry Gamble and Norman Brayman. And Jeff Fisher was a defensive coordinator under
right.
Buddy Ryan and got passed over. So
yeah, I agree.
The only good thing the Eagles did around, Rich Kotite inherited that team with Randall, with that defense, Buddy, Jerome, and company. It was the only good thing in there. They brought Bud Carson in.
Yeah, true.
That 91 defense set a lot of records. That'll go down as one of the best defenses of all time that never won a Super Bowl. But
yeah, well, just like in 2017, every blind squirrel finds a nut one day. You know what I mean? Some teams can, some teams can't. You know what I mean?
1995.
1995.
Yeah, those 90s were those 90s were a good decade.
VHS tapes off them.
Well, Fuji, like I said, I got them on DVD. Fuji,
go blow out the dust of them.
Fuji, I got them on DVD. All you gotta do is just wipe that sucker off. You don't have to dust my shit off.
1995.
Spectator says the biggest myth about Dallas is they think they're going to the Super Bowl every year. BS, LOL. I can't find anyone who thinks it's a media myth. Also, he says only the media and haters live in the past about Dallas. See, that's the one thing I agree with. I do remember the past. Yes, it's something that I can go back and watch. I think every fandom does that, of course. If you haven't won in a while, you go back and watch some old things. But to me, the media is the one that brings it up. And the biggest fraud out there to me is like a Stephen A. Smith. I can't stand people like that who just exactly. I just don't like people like that just live to get get the views and everything about Dallas. Like, come on, dude. Like, really? Like, come on.
I have to say this. I do find that quite amusing.
I bet you do. On your standpoint, I bet you do.
How can you not?
I bet you do find that amusing.
The problem is with the Dallas Cowboys.
What is the problem, Fuji?
Your owner is too goddamn hands-on.
He's
the coach, the GM.
Wait a minute. I can't believe I'm fucking agreeing with you right here. I'm really can't believe I'm agreeing with the Cowboy fan.
The Dallas Cowboys. He's the front man. Let him get another facelift until the man either croaks or steps down and his son takes over. You guys probably ain't. And Mike McCarthy, you ain't going to win a goddamn thing.
No, he's going to be weekend at Bernie's.
I do agree with you.
They're going to carry him around with sunglasses.
Until Jerry Jones steps down. And, I still go back to the 215 Boys, we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago when I said, remember the draft when Johnny Manziel? Steven, his son, actually took the card away from him and says, we ain't drafting that son of a bitch.
Well,
and that's when everything turned around. Until Jerry Jones goes away, I can't see us winning. But all I do is say, Jerry, just sign the checks. Shut up. Sign the checks.
Yeah, but He's got an ego the size of Mother Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole universe.
That's why they call it Jerry's world. He's in his own freaking world down there. You know that.
Hey, I hate to say it, but I'm sure you guys could have won a couple more with Jimmy Johnson. You brought in Switz the Ditz. Just inherited that.
Exactly. Thank you.
Johnson.
Thank you. A lot of people say Switzer was a great coach. No, he inherited Jimmy Johnson's team.
He did. I agree with that. He did inherit his team.
He inherited like a freaking idiot could have coached that team and won a Super Bowl with Jimmy Johnson's team. Come on.
Joe Judge could have won a Super Bowl with that team.
Exactly. Dave checks in. Where's the Commander fan at? He's actually saving the world. He is a firefighter out there, so he got called on a call. So he's doing his, respected duties out there. Like I said, it's it's the Washington fans. You know, they always show up late to the party. It's all that's what happens when you live in the basement. That's all I can say. You know what I mean? But Adam Glenn says 1995. Thanks, Adam.
1995.
Thank you. That's going to be the damn chant here.
1995.
Can we get a hashtag 1995 up in the chat? Fuck it. Let's do it. You know what I mean? Let's do it. Eileen says, don't tell Danny I saw the Eagles branded hot dogs and I bought them and ate them. Whoa, wait a minute.
Well, that's what the Giants are going to do. They eat the Eagles for breakfast. Eat them for breakfast. I hope.
Oh, man.
Dimes. Is Dimes
Hope
going to
so.
step up this year?
Man.
Going to have that MVP caliber season?
Oh, speculations here.
I'm just being a smart ass that I am.
I know you are. None's
guy.
Boy, you're writing character on this show tonight, aren't you, Fuji?
Yeah.
I always try to.
All right.
Don't play my ego anymore.
Exactly. Spectre says, LL, here we go. He's the coach. Another media myth. I agree. I think McCarthy this year, I'm going to give him 1 year to see what he has. It's his play calling. It's the West Coast. Let's see what he can do.
See what happens. Yep.
Let's see what we can do. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Evan says most of Philly was Steeler fans pre-1985. Most fans were asking of the stars from the USFL to be integrated to the NFL there. Yeah,
I'll go back to that. And there was a rumor that the Stars wanted to play the Eagles back then. I mean, the Stars were a friggin' superior team.
Well, interesting thing that the Steelers and the Eagles were a combined team once. Way back. Way back.
You know what, guys? We trash talk a lot, but it means something to where we have a comment from Evan out there talking about 1985, okay? And then we have one of our commenters, Joe Sullivan. Thank you, Joe Sullivan. Evan, you weren't even your dad's balls in 1985. Eagles fans were always supportive. See, that's what I love. It's not even the NFC East world. We got the NFC world out there in the chat room out there. This is what I love. Eileen says nothing wrong with the smart ass. You're right. That's why I'm always
better than a dumbass.
Damn right. Spec says, Eileen. Oh my God, Spec has. Listen, I don't have a Drew Henson jersey, but listen, I got an Andy Dalton. I got a Quincy Carter. I got a Quincy Carter jersey.
Dan, really?
You seen it? Number 17. Parcells. He was Parcells for Parcells, right?
I showed you my Quincy Carter jersey before, Dan.
Yep, I remember there was big talk about him. They were talking about that.
Q Carter.
Number 17, the only guy that I think the coach planted drugs in your locker room, in your own locker. That's what I think.
You got a Babe Laufenberg jersey?
No, I do not, because I don't have anybody. Only old school jersey I have, Fuji, honestly, is Randy
White,
Roger Staubach. I have Randy White as well. My dad's favorite.
Like you told me that.
Yep, I have that one, but I don't have any of the old ones like that. Honestly, I really don't. It was before my time, so I can watch videos, of course, but I wasn't really a young fan at that time. I really wasn't until I got into it. Spectre says here's another one. Jerry pays the refs. Now, I don't know if Jerry pays the refs. Like, come on, I don't see that, because if he did, he'd be a broke son of a bitch. Or you know what? Why aren't we winning then if he's paying the refs?
Maybe that's why Goodell's making $50 million a year.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Me and Joe got to go at it. Well, that's the next freaking show. There you go. We've already selected Evan for the Giants and Joe Sullivan for the Eagles. There we go. Round 2 of the NFC East War Room. Why not? This is what we do here, guys. This is what we do. I love the haters' obsession with the Cowboys. I do too. I mean, it's funny when you look at Eagles chat rooms and you look at Eagles, podcasters, and the first thing they say is, "Oh, the Cowboys this." I love it because you can't keep that D out of your mouth. You know what I mean? I love that. I mean, it is what it is, though. Some people don't do it, but some people do. Am I right or wrong?
You are we them boys, though.
We are them boys. You're damn right. We them boys. But ain't got no damn hot dog involved in that shit, though, is there? No.
Not here.
Not here.
Not in this city.
Right.
Maybe down there in Big D, where it's Big D, right?
Hey, there's a reason why we call it. What's the reason why we call it Big D? And it ain't a myth down there. I'm Asian and I got a big D. I shouldn't have gone there, but yeah.
TMI.
TMI.
Wait there.
Slow down there.
TMI.
Evan says I did have a Javon Curse jersey though.
There you go.
He was awesome, Javon.
Eagles or Titans?
I had the 93 Titans jersey. Yes, I have that one too. But let me ask you guys real quick before we go into something real quick. I want to ask you guys something. Dan, do you own any other jerseys in the NFC East?
No.
Would you wear one?
No. Maybe if it was like a
absolutely not.
But no. I would say no. No.
No. Huh?
No.
Wow. Fuji, no.
If it was someone
absolutely
outside the division, yes.
Not.
Okay.
Not even if I was in the coffin or they burned my ass at the
Fuck
state.
no. No. But if
Okay.
it's someone
No.
outside the NFC
All right.
East, like a older player,
Okay.
like I like running backs, like yeah. Like
Okay.
something
Okay.
like that, yes.
Nope.
Two reasons why I said that is because, last year, Dan, you're part of the Big Blue Power Hour every Monday night at 8:30.
Yeah.
Your co-host, Big Mouth Evan, wanted to place a bet, so we placed a bet. I was looking for the picture. Unfortunately, I did delete it, in regards to is being a nice guy to Evan. I did delete the picture, but he had a picture of him like with a tutu on, with a Dallas hat and all this crap. But
Wow.
my thing is, this year we did make a gentleman's bet. We were going to do tattoos, which would stay with you for life, and that was kind of outrageous. We didn't want to do that. I would do it because I have confidence. But our bet this year is if week 1, if Dallas wins, Evan has to go out and buy a jersey of my choice from the Cowboys. If the Giants win, I have to go out and buy a Danny Dollar Store Red Boy
And
jersey
wear it all week.
and wear it on the show for my show, and he has to do the same as well. But I have one Eagle. I have 2 Eagles jerseys. I had a Jerome Brown jersey because I respect the hell out of him. Number 1 is a great player. I never wore it, just had it. And number 2, I have the Randall Cunningham Pro Bowl jersey. Those are the only 2 that I have.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Dave says, what team does Mr. Fuji 2.0 root for? Oh, he's speaking to my cousin, Mr. Fuji. He actually, it's funny that you say that. He actually likes the Indianapolis Colts because he was born in Indianapolis, believe it or not. He was. Mm-hmm. Eileen says, boxing gloves. Exactly. That's going to be round 2 next Thursday night. We already set up 2 teams out there. Evan says, Eagles. The Javon Curse jersey is the Eagles jersey. Spectator says, no. Evan says, last comment here, I lost a bet with my father. I had to wear Eagles jersey.
Nice.
I chose to wear Jerome Brown jersey. Okay. I respect
Evan,
that.
if you ever see the light, come on back. I got 50+ jerseys.
That's like
I'll let
me,
you
Fuji.
pick. I'll let you pick anyone you want.
That's like me, Fuji. I think, honestly, maybe at least 85 to 100 Cowboys jerseys. And once they retire, they go
Wow.
into a bin, and the bin says retired or scrubs
Right.
is what it says, honestly. It really does.
Good way
Yeah.
to do it.
Scrubs.
Yeah. I just ordered my Demarion Overshawn jersey, but that son of a bitch tore his ACL last week.
Oh, you jinxed them.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
I'm
But real quick, before we get into some talk here about preseason and week 1, what is your best memory in the NFC East of all the years from yesterday all the way back in the day? What was your best memory ever of the NFC East, guys?
I am going to say Giants Eagles, September 17th, 2016, the 17-point fourth quarter comeback versus the Eagles.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah, when you're dead to rights,
I got a
It was an
few.
amazing game.
Well, Fuji, we only asked for freaking 1, Fuji. We don't have all day. It's an hour
Two
show,
teams.
brother.
Well, there's plenty of Cowboy memories to bask in the glory. I'm going to go back 2010. Giants up. I forget what the score was, but
Oh, I know what he's going to say.
the man just went like this.
Yeah, that little guy. That little guy. I
Sean
forgot.
Jackson
Yeah, that little guy.
sticking the fork in the Giants and Tom Coughlin. Miracle at the Meadowlands, number 3
Oh, man.
or
I
2.
actually have a picture I took right after that play.
Yeah, I remember that
I got
game.
to find
It
it.
was the
I was
punter.
so
Dodge.
mad. Dodge punted the ball,
Right.
but he bobbled it, and
Yeah.
the coverage overran it, and he got by everybody.
Isn't that one of the moments where you sit there and say, "What the hell did he just kick for? Why did he just kick that ball? Why did he do
Kicked
that?"
it right to him.
Exactly.
Especially to Sean Jackson.
I mean, either kick it out of bounds, get it at the
Earning it.
40, get it,
But
kick it
the
out of
coverage
bounds.
was horrible too. You
Sure,
got good
it
coverage. You
was.
should give up a fucking punt return.
I mean, that's one of the plays where you just think like, okay,
But
either
for
kick it out
Eagles
of bounds,
fans,
give it at the
awesome.
40, give it at the 40
Yeah.
yard line, kick it away from him. Don't give him the damn
I
ball.
remember I was a Chickie and Pete's on the boulevard watching that.
Okay, damn, you should have stopped over at my house, bro. I'm at the old one. I lived 4 doors down from the old Chicky and Pete's there, Fuge.
Hey, I grew up right by.
You know, as a matter of fact, Fuji, I think you're the son of a bitch that threw rocks at my car back in the day.
Maybe I did.
It broke my windows. I think you're the son of a bitch that broke my windows outside of Chicky.
Well, I didn't know you were a Cowboys fan. How do you know it was me? I'll keep that in mind now, though.
Yeah, I know you will now, huh? Yeah. I tell you that somebody broke all my windows in my SUV. I had a 5-time Super Bowl champ in the back of a big logo, and this drunk came right out of Chicky and Pete's. And listen, I was like, shit, I need new windows. You know, I almost got free tires out of it. I said, yeah, this freaking fan smashed the damn windows. Go ahead. You know what? While you're at it, get the tires too. I'm thinking like, oh, should I get some new tires out of it? But I only got new
that's
windows.
below the belt and
You know, it is. That's the one thing I don't
you don't
condemn.
damage
Exactly.
I'd never
anybody's
do something like
property.
that. That's
No, that's one
no
thing.
class.
Exactly.
That's
Mhm.
well, that's just an asshole.
Now this one's to you, there, Fuge. Do you have a Bill Berge jersey?
Actually, I do not.
Okay.
I
There you go.
have.
Spectator was asking that. That's wow. That's old
There's
school.
a few
Boy.
jerseys I do got to get. I mean, I got Bednarik,
Mm-hmm.
about 10 Dawkins jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
I could sit here all night, but
Joe Sullivan says 2008 44-6 against Dallas at the Link. Why is it always got to be a Dallas game? That's the thing I wonder.
Because they love beating the Eagles.
And second
Probably-
is 89
probably
at
more than
Washington. Yep. And the second game is 89 Washington. Eagles came back from down 20-0. Randall's best game. I agree. Spectator says LOL about the jersey there. My memory is not really a game. It's just one event play where I was at the game where I seen Jason Witten streak down the field with no helmet. That to me was like, that's one of my favorite players all time. And that to me will stick in my mind. I actually have the poster, the 16 by 20 in my closet.
And they didn't call the play dead.
They didn't even call the play dead though.
They would have today. That's
They would have
pretty
today.
awesome, actually.
Yeah, you get two-hand touch now. You're automatically out. Joe Sullivan
Pretty
actually says he has a Berge jersey. Wow,
Oh, wow.
that's one person I knew would have the jersey.
Oh.
Joe Sullivan, exactly.
Oh, he
Mhm.
probably has like tons.
Exactly.
we
But
got a Steve Van Buren and Chuck Bednarik old school.
damn. Food, you know what? I think we should make a bet. You know, since you're on the show with me tonight, since I already have a bet with the Giants fan already, I think you and I need to make a little wager here. First game of the season for you and I. What do you think?
Pick your poison.
Pick your poison. I think we just keep it neutral. I think we do it just like with the Giants thing here. We don't have to go out and buy a jersey, but I think the Cowboys win. I think you rock one of my jerseys. I'll mail it out to you, or when I come to Philly, we'll have lunch and I'll give it to you, and we can do vice versa. What do you say?
Was this week one or when we square?
No, when
off?
we play, when we square off in the
November 5th.
rectangle. When we square off in the rectangle, how about we do that, brother?
Right in the combat zone. Right
I wonder
in
if my
Philly.
Quincy Carter jersey will fit you.
I doubt
wonder.
it. What size are you?
Back then, I was actually like a little dude, like buff but little, you know.
No,
So,
I won't. I'm a double X.
all right, well, I got some of those too.
After I'm done wearing it, can I get gasoline and match it up?
No, please don't kill my jerseys. I love my jerseys, man. Even, sometimes I
Oh,
use them as
fun.
washcloths. Sometimes I use them as washcloths, car detail rags, whatever. But
Yeah,
I'll make sure I give you a bad one.
Theo swallows pills.
You know, I still remember that shirt. One son of a bitch, one of my players from back in the day when I used to coach, he actually sent me a shirt that says T.O. Swallows with the star on it.
All that they were selling that shirt. It's a
I remember that. I actually kept that too.
Theo swallows pills.
Exactly. I agree with that. Joseph says, I have mad respect for Witten. I do too, but I'm just so pissed off that he went to the Raiders for that last season there. It kind of killed, but he's my favorite player all time. All time for the Cowboys.
He didn't last long on Monday Night Football.
No, he didn't. Some people are good for commentating, and some people are just good on the field to play. But
Olsen is better at it.
And that's not saying much for Greg Olsen.
That's not saying much.
That's not saying much right there. But guys, let's get into. Oh, go ahead, Fudge. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to just ask the whole Troy Aikman, Tony Romo thing about and being an announcer. Who's better?
Tony
Your
Romo.
opinion.
Tony Romo. I coach football, so I love listening to Romo.
What I like him,
yes, he's in depth. He just sits there like
he
remembers like what in the back when he played. Like, okay, they're running a pro gun set here. You know, twin jet. It's coming. Watch this guy here, and you're thinking like, holy shit, they just ran it. You know,
well, because
played, but still,
no announcers do that. He gets like
Exactly.
into the X's and O's.
Right.
He can like dissect the play and know what's coming. I'm like, how the hell does he know that?
I'll give him
But you
that.
realize these quarterbacks are smart.
I just
You know?
think
Exactly.
I just think Aikman calls it down the middle. He's not a
He's neutral. He's neutral.
yeah. I mean, him and
right.
I know
There's a lot of
people
times you
can Joe Buck, but I think those.
Right.
I mean, they've been around 20+ years.
I mean, there's a
I
lot
don't
of times.
mind
There's a lot of
Aikman.
times when Romo has been biased about the Cowboys. Said
Right.
something, you know.
no,
that-
but it's like
but-
Aikman's always called it down the middle. You know,
Sure, I remember one game he said Dallas doesn't have a clue what the hell's going on, and he said that live on TV, and I'm like, thank you very much for saying that.
Just be
know?
honest. At least he's
Mhm.
balanced. That's what I like.
Yeah.
But Romo, you expect, but I like Romo because he's more X's and O's when he's talking about the plays and stuff. He's
right?
explaining it to you and teaching you football. I like that.
Now here's a question. I was actually going to ask you guys here. Joe Sullivan brought it up here. I have a question for you guys. What player from the NFC do you like and respect and hate the most because on the field? His is Romo. I'll tell you a little story after we're done about Romo with Joe.
The Eagles?
Yeah, give me let's go with the Eagles first.
I am
go
gonna
with the
say-
Eagles
I
first.
mean, are we doing each team or just?
I'm
No,
gonna
just,
say
just give me one player out of the NFC East who you hate, you love. Let's go hate the most. Let's go hate the most. Damn, Dan, you're really thinking about this one, aren't you?
DeMarcus Lawrence.
What did he do to you?
He always
Except-
fucks us up all the time.
Except jack up Mr. Neal a couple times. That's all he did. Come on.
But you changed up the question on me. You said, oh, which one you respect and have to hate.
Well, you should be on the top of your tongue who you love and hate about the division, right?
Yeah, I
All
hate
right.
all Dallas
All right.
Cowboys
So
or all Eagles.
who is your most respected player outside of your team? Go back to back here.
Kelsey from the Eagles, I would say.
Kelsey? Okay.
Yeah, Kelsey from the Eagles.
Okay.
From the Commanders.
No, just one person in the division. That's it. Just
Yeah,
one person
Kelsey
in the
from
division.
the Eagles, I would
Kelsey,
say.
okay. All right. So DeMarcus Lawrence that you hate. Okay. Well, who do you use? Okay, Kelsey. What about you, Fuj? Who's your most hated player in the division?
Oh, I'll say this.
It's going to be a goddamn Cowboy. Here we go.
I was a big Dion fan, but I couldn't stand him with Dallas.
Oh, really? You didn't like the little primetime dance? You didn't like that?
Loved it with the Niners and the Falcons.
Okay.
Couldn't stand him with Big D.
And who do you have the most respect for in the division?
I would say Emmitt Smith. This guy was just
Whoa.
class.
Okay.
Guy was just total class.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, mine for my most hated is probably going to be. God, there's so many of them, really, honestly. My God. I really don't have one hated one. There's so many of them, but if I had to pick, it would probably be Jalen Hurts because he's so freaking good.
There's an Eagle. So
You know,
we're in
exactly.
the same boat.
And my most respectful player in the division, this is probably going to shock you. It's going to be Donovan McNabb. The reason being that man had trash to show for, and he did everything he could for this franchise. He really did.
Oh,
And to me, that makes me feel like, wow, this guy really did what he had to do. I mean, that's just my feeling, honestly. That's the way I feel about it.
I'll say this. McNabb gets, guy had 5 NFC title games,
True.
Super Bowl. Shame he choked in the end, but really up until T.O., he didn't really have. I had this conversation with somebody in work the other day, and I'm like, what did he really have besides Westbrook? He had T.O. for a season and a half. I mean,
Okay.
at least Jalen Hurts and Wentz had, Alshon Jeffrey, Torrey Smith,
Sure.
Zach Ertz, and he had a running game with Garrett Blunt.
I mean,
Jay
what
Ajayi.
did McNabb have? He had Pinkston, Thrash. What else did he have? The Wawa players. We talk about joking about with the Wawa
Not
receivers that you had a couple
much.
years ago. But what did
Yeah,
McNabb have? Nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, T.O. I mean, if you go back and
But
look
what
at-
happened that one year? They did get to the Super Bowl with T.O. You
that
know
was his best year.
exactly
That
one
was his
receiver.
best year statistically.
Exactly.
After the divorce with T.O., they went out and got Kevin Curtis.
Mhm.
Or no, they got Dante Stallworth, who had
Right.
hamstring issues. The year after that, they got Kevin Curtis. You
Yeah,
figure by the
Pinkston is the guy. I was
Pinkston and
thinking
Trash.
of.
Yeah, Pinkston and Trash.
well,
yeah.
that was early 2000s, but
Mhm,
that was
mhm.
like the
Yeah.
early McNabb era.
Yeah.
But you figure by the time they had Deshaun Jackson, McNabb was pretty much done, and he was traded a year or two.
Sure, that's when he went to Washington, right? You
Yeah.
know. Mm-hmm. Joe Sullivan says Aikman is classy. I agree with that one too. I mean, he's a stand-up guy. I mean, back in the day, that's one thing you don't see players take pay cuts to get players on your team anymore. Aikman did it, or Emmett did it numerous times to get players
Right.
on there. But Adam Glenn, I cannot put your comment on the screen because I am not getting banned off of here. As regards to don't say the word, but Tony, his little cliche word after that rhymes, so I can't put that on there. So I'm not getting banned for that one, but we don't put comments like that on there, Adam. Sean says, "What's up, guys?" And then he says, "His guys is Jay Novacek. He hated. I love Jay Novacek. The '84. I loved him, man. Reggie White loved. I agree. Reggie White was one of my other favorites too. As an Eagles fan, I respect that one 100%. But guys, before we move on here, let's move on here. Let's go into preseason. Weeks 1 and 2 are in the book. I know, Food, you guys play tonight at 8:30, I believe, correct?
I think they're playing now. Oh,
Are they? I thought they played at 8.
7:30.
Oh, do they? Yeah, it's not to
Yeah,
watch. It's the
it's
Eagles. Not to
probably
watch.
started.
Yeah. But what do you guys see in the preseason so far? Dan, I'll start with you with the Giants here. What do you see so far with the preseason?
One obvious thing, Waller's going to be the number one target, but we all thought that. I really like what I've seen from Schmitz as well. I think that
Yeah,
the starting offense looked really good in week 2.
sure.
I think that a lot of our backups, like Trey Hawkins III, Banks, look good.
Mhm.
So, but I'm satisfied. The best thing about the preseason so far, they're relatively healthy. They got no major injuries or nothing like that. So I think it's been a great preseason season so far. They're probably not going to play their stars in game 3. It's going to be
Mhm.
2s and 3s. But I like what I've seen so far in preseason.
And you know what? We'll talk about the Giants real quick. I'll start with you, Dan, with that one there. And the one person you didn't even mention was Jalen Hyatt yet.
Yeah, Jalen Hyatt is all he's. I mean, Jalen Hyatt obviously is fast as hell. He ran like a 4.3.
Mm-hmm.
He's very, very quick. That route he ran, he had that mistake where he had that drop.
Yeah.
And he also, but he had that route, to the inside and came out. So he was wide open.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably going to, be the feature set. He's probably going to be clearing guys out, going deep. He's a deep threat. So Jalen Hyatt is going to be dynamic. I think he's going to have a pretty good season.
And I think that opens up so much for Darren Waller. Darren Waller can spread the field. Yeah. He's a hybrid tight end as well. We know that. And when you have Jalen Hyatt taking the roof off of there, it's going to leave a lot of open mismatches because the safety has to either say, I'm going with Waller, I'm going with Hyatt, which is going to leave Waller wide open, exposed in the middle, which is great for you guys, of course. Fuji, what did you see about the Giants so far, since we're talking about the Giants here?
I mean, before they re-up with Barkley, I mean, they brought in James Robinson, who I believe I really didn't really see any of their games, but I mean, I thought it was a nice pickup just in case, like, back up to Barkley or, if he wasn't coming into camp. Mm-hmm. But, they got that deal done. Mm-hmm. I think Waller was a nice pickup in the off season from the Raiders.
Huge pickup.
As long as he can stay healthy.
Exactly.
I know it was, before we went on the air, I know Dan and I were talking about, them picking up Cole Beasley. I know he's old, but, it's
good veteran, I think.
The hot sauce, Beasley with the hot sauce,
And, I just think they had a pretty good draft coming, I know they got a harder schedule coming into this year. So,
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Probably looks like it is going to be a 3-team battle again. Going back to the NFC.
Seems so, at least.
As opposed to the NFC least a few years ago.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. Dan, I wanted to ask you real quick, regarding with Beasley, I do have his jersey. I have an autographed jersey from him, a JSF autographed, JSF authentic one. And let me ask you, where does he fit in with this? I mean, that to me, when watching Beasley with the Cowboys, it didn't matter third down. He reminded me of a Amendola type receiver.
Yeah.
Third down, he can get you. He can just make one cut. He knows. The thing is with him, Dan, he knows exactly where the sticks are at. He knows exactly where the sticks are at. And that's the thing.
Yes, exactly. He's experienced. That's what I like about him. He's like kind of like like some security for Jones. He knows to move the chains. A chain mover. He moves the chains. That's what you want. He's not going to make big plays or nothing like that. Right. But he has sure hands. He's a good route runner.
Mm-hmm.
He's older, but if he can contribute, he's a good veteran, and he's better than the other guys. There's other guys behind him, so he's going to be a guy they'll use situationally.
Very true. Very true.
But if someone gets hurt, he can at least contribute.
Yeah, I think he's going to be. He's a great depth move. He's a great depth move for you guys. Really,
and Shane knows him, and Dable used him.
Exactly.
So
and one thing, Dan, real quick.
To do with it.
The one thing is, I know he can catch end zone balls with his knee. I know that for sure.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You understand that, right?
And behind his back.
Yes. I still remember that game in the end zone. Did he catch it? Yeah, his knee was down.
I couldn't believe he caught that ball behind his back. It was like behind his head or something.
Exactly. Fuj, let's go to the Eagles here, man. What's going on with you? Defending NFC East crown winners here. Solidified the whole team, getting my boy St. Joe's Prep, DeAndre Swift to your team. You guys cut Miles Jack. What the hell's going on down there? You guys are loaded, that loaded? What's going on?
They retired.
Well, you guys play for the Eagles. I would too. I mean, shit, I don't want to play this trash.
I wouldn't want to play for
I heard he must have drank some Schuylkill water and retired after that. Said, shit, I can't deal with this shit.
Nah, there was some rumor out there that he was talking about taking up a trade or something. And I guess last week he was in with the third team, like late in the fourth quarter. And I'm like,
Yeah.
You know, I was messaging Sean Kilrain, like, what the hell?
Mhm.
Why is Miles Jack? I mean, I guess,
Right.
you know, Cunningham, they said, you know, the way he looked the first 2 games and, you know, in practice, he looked good. And, you know, Nakobe Dean made that nice play last week, you know, stripping the ball in the
Yeah, it's a
end
good
zone with
yeah.
Cleveland,
On the goal
you
line,
know,
yeah.
Too
you
much
know,
depth.
so I don't know, maybe he just saw the writing on the wall and I don't know, just wanted to hang it up, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you see with the Eagles? What do they need to do to get back to the promised land and get that step over, you know, the mountain here? What do they
Well,
need to do, Fuge?
I mean, Jalen Carter, I mean, hey, the guy, to me, I'll say this, and I haven't said this might be a reach to make this comparison, but I'm going to say Jalen Carter could be the modern day Jerome Brown, the way he is.
Fuji, if this was like that round table where PTO would just mute you for a second, I would have to mute you on that one. I think that's a big reach, but if it pans out, you guys hit a gold mine on
Well,
that one.
He's got the
I
skill set.
mean,
He
it's
does.
I know
Size,
it. I
speed.
know it.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, the way
Probably
he
more athletic.
comes off the ball, the way, you know, he stops the run, he can get in that backfield. I haven't seen a defensive line, and I'm not saying because
No, I
he's with the
agree.
Eagles.
No, it's
but
true. It's true.
Oh, it's
he's-
true. They're
I mean,
unbelievable.
he could be a wrecking ball. I mean, don't get Jerome Brown, one of my top favorite 3 Eagles of all time.
Mhm.
I just see flashbacks of Jalen Carter just being an impact right on that.
Don't forget Davis also.
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, really haven't seen Davis 13 tackles last year. Really didn't get a chance to make an impact with Javon Hargrave playing, you know, Fletcher Cox. But you know, this is the Eagles defensive line now this year. You got Cox, you got Milton Williams, you got Jordan Davis, now Jalen Carter. So this team has to get back to where the hell they were last year on defense.
I think the front 4 is nasty. What you guys have. I mean, plus you guys have depth too. You have depth as well.
I mean, Hassan Reddick, I think, was a difference maker last year. You know, that NFC title game set the tone. I mean, Hassan Reddick was a player they should have had years ago. We haven't had an impact player like that in a very long time. That a sack man. I mean, John Sweat, I think, is coming into his own.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just, you know, Eagles already had 2 big blows, you know, special teams wise. They lost Sean Bradley 2 weeks ago, and they lost McPherson last year. So,
yeah,
you know, some of these guys got to step up. Nakobe Dean has to step in. You know, Eagles just never value the linebacker position. I don't know why, but
yeah,
they have. I mean, it goes back to the Andy Reid era. Like, all right, Trotter wanted the Brian Urlacher, Ray Lewis money. You know, stormed out of Andy Reid's office, but did he really deserve it? No. But you know, they just always, the only thing that killed that 2002 team was, you know, they had Barry Gardner and they brought in Levon Kirkland. Well, Levon Kirkland basically got torched by Joe Jaravicius. I don't want to relive that game, but you know, it's what it is. And, you know, it's, you know, the Eagles, you got 4 or 5 running backs, which, you know, the rumors coming out of Philly are them trading for Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, real quick before we move on, team, what do you see with that one? I mean, now what I'm hearing is they want bigger than what Christian McCaffrey got. Trade for that. What can you give up for a Jonathan Taylor who's coming off an injury that, you know, they went out and got? It's going to be a big bank here. What are you going to give up, Fuge?
I mean, he wants a new contract. I believe he's in the last year of his rookie deal. I believe the Eagles have about maybe 10 or 11 picks next year. But see, I don't know if how he wants, you know, draft picks we all know are like gold in the NFL.
Right. Yep.
And, you know, well, depending on what you do with it. You could have a million picks and screw it all up. But I don't know.
Use them to trade for players.
I honestly think Trey Sermon, who the Eagles got last year from the Niners, never really suited him up. You got, I mean, Gainwell, who I think is going to be the feature back, Swift, Rashard Penny, Boston Scott. I don't think they really need him. I mean, the thing of it is, the Eagles got to start doing the screen game. I mean, keep the pressure off Hurts. Hurts almost ran for 160 attempts last year.
It's too much.
mean,
too many.
I mean, he plays reckless abandonment. Love the guy, but you're going to end up like Lamar Jackson in a couple years.
Very true. Very true.
I mean, there's no reason why, as long as this offensive line and this offense and this team can stay healthy, why, it's almost simply impossible to get back to the Super Bowl the year after. But
yeah, you know what the thing is, like,
crossed.
It's like when we talked at the beginning of the show, the scenarios of what people media. So we all know it's true that no team has really repeated in our division for 22 years now. If you really think about that. So it's really hard to get back to the promised land, no matter how you rebuild the team, what you bring in, who you lose. This division is so damn tough every year.
Yep.
It's up for grabs no matter what. Who would have thought, Washington a couple of years ago when they were right behind everybody making a prized possession to get to that top spot? Who would have thought that? I mean, this division, look at last year. We have possibly 3 teams in the playoffs. I mean, possibly even 4 teams at one point.
4 could have made it. It's
insane. It really is.
4 could have made it.
Another thing is, too, I mean, you got Sean Desai, the defensive coordinator, and you got Brian Johnson, who the offensive coordinator. You got two rookie coordinators here, and
But the one thing is Johnson has ties to Hurts too. So that gives you that big benefit right there.
I mean, Jalen Hurts' dad, Coach Johnson.
Exactly.
Yep.
But the one thing I can say about you guys, at least you guys are playing your players in the preseason. The one thing I'm worried about, 2 things for Dallas right now. Dak hasn't hit the field. We know Tony Pollard's not going to hit the field.
Hurts hasn't hit the field either.
Right, but
why wouldn't Dak hit the field? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, he needs to with this new terminology with this offense.
They have a totally new offense.
He has to. He has to be on the field. He has to be on the field.
He doesn't play a whole half. I play him a whole half. I know you don't want to, but
like to me, it pisses me off because I know he's not playing tomorrow night. I know that for sure. Or Saturday, he's not playing. But to me, game 2 was a perfect scenario. Hey, go out there and get some game speed out there. We know Pollard's not going to be out there. Zach Martin. We've seen what this offense is going to do when we come to the Meadowlands week 1. Dan, it's going to be preseason game 1 for our starters. Okay, when you guys have excelled playing almost a half a game already with your starters.
Wake Martindale's going to have that defense ready for you guys.
And that's what I mean. And plus the injuries, and plus we just lost to Marion Overshawn, one of my favorite players. I mean, we did the live draft, Dan, and I was like, this guy, Demarion Overshawn, is probably going to be the highlight of the NFL this year as a rookie, possibly Rookie of the Year candidate. Tore ACL. One good play, and he's out for the season. And that's the thing with me is injuries.
And in practice, too?
No, it was in a game. It was in a game. It was a live game. It was a live game
against Seattle. That sucks.
Yeah, I mean that's huge. I mean he was projected starter. Now we have to rely on LVE, Mr. I'm always hurt too. Now he has to man that middle. I mean he did great last year, but the thing is injuries kill the Cowboys. Injuries again, devastating.
Well, they're going to hit the waiver wire. You better
they're definitely going to do.
They'll be signing some guys.
Soon as the 53-man roster,
we will too.
Better be on that. Maybe. On that little wire line right there. Here's the 53-man roster. Okay, he's available.
There'll be guys out there.
Of course there will be. And the other thing that held us back was Zach Martin not being at practice. 1 week of practice. That's all he had.
One of the teams got to be down to the 53-man roster. Wouldn't that have to be
Tuesday?
I believe it's Tuesday.
Yeah. Tuesday at 4. It's all at once. It's not incremental. Remember,
exactly.
It needs to be incremental.
It's a huge drop from here
now
all the way
like
down. Exactly.
All the players, you got to cut them all. You got to do it all.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, because when they played 4 preseason games.
Yeah.
Yep.
It would be little by little each week.
Exactly.
You went down from like 93 to like what it was like 70, then to like 60, then down to like 50.
And your final cuts.
59, then 53. Exactly.
Yep.
Now it's just drop everybody at once. Line them up outside the office and come on in.
What I like about it is that it gives all of those players on the bubble or something. It gives them more time to develop, more time to learn something. And I actually like that setup because that's what you want. You want them. They could be there for the whole training camp in 3 weeks of preseason.
Mm-hmm.
So you can really see a little more of the players that you might want to see.
True. And that's the one thing like tonight. I mean, I don't watch a lot of preseason. I only watch the starters when they play.
Neither do I. The starters.
There's a couple people on the bubble that I like to see, rookies coming in where they fit in. Like Deuce Vaughn is exciting to me. I love watching him. But the one thing to me is I like watching game 4 or game 3 now a little bit because of the fact that
Your
So
depth.
players that exactly, but the players that you know they're not going to make it that on this team, the 53-man roster,
Exactly. They get
it's
to
an
show themselves.
it's an audition for these guys right
Mhm.
there. They're going to give you
Exactly.
150% to put that
Yep.
tape reel together and say, "Oh, he's getting cut," but hey, check out the tape what he can do on special teams here. Check out this tape.
I'll give you an example. Victor Cruz.
Mm,
Remember? No
yes,
one knew
Walk-on,
who
wasn't
Victor
he?
Cruz was.
that
No one
preseason
knew
he
who he
had
was.
insane.
But he got hurt and was out the whole season.
Yes,
But you knew he was coming back the next season. He was unbelievably good.
exactly.
So,
Preseason can make or break you.
one
for a
game,
team.
like a lot. There are going to be guys, especially rookies, that are going to have a big game, and they'll get picked up by another team just because of that, even if they get cut.
Very true. Very true.
Didn't he go to the Bears after they got rid of him?
I don't think he went to the Bears.
Who?
Victor Cruz, salsa.
Victor Cruz went.
I don't think he went to the Bears. Let me look him up real quick.
Carolina.
Thought he went to like.
Let me see.
He came back to us also for a year or so.
I thought he.
No, he was always a Giant.
He was always a Giant. Yeah.
2010 to 2016, always a Giant.
I thought he signed somewhere else. But
No, last year he had
a
like
cup of coffee.
almost 500 yards and a couple.
You know what? But you know what? What did you say, Fuji? You need some what?
Some
You need some coffee?
monkey cold coffee.
Well, hell, you know what? Let's do it. Hey, listen, you need some coffee, just like Fuji said. Let's get into it. MonkeyColdCoffee.com. Best damn coffee out there. Bourbon, chocolate chip, toasted coconut run. And if you don't like that kind of brand, go ahead and get you some Samaritan blend. It's a regular blend out there. But if you do that, make sure you use promo code OOTBS Sports at MonkeyColdCoffee.com. The best damn coffee out there, of course. And Dan, what is this all about?
Dugout mugs. They make mugs for any team. You get custom mugs made. I have one. They are awesome. You can sit down, enjoy the game, drinking cold beer or something out of your dugout mug, whatever you like. Use the promo code OOTB Sports 20 for a 20% discount at dugoutmugs.com at checkout and get a dugout mug. I think they're great. They're great quality. If you're a sports fan, they're great things to have. And like I said, you can get them custom made. Get anything you want on it. So I need to get myself a Giants one or something like that, even though it's not if it's not baseball.
Oh yeah, they do custom mugs. I just ordered the out of the box custom mug as myself.
So, but if you want a dugout mug for any baseball fan, but you get anything you want on it. So once again, use promo code OOTB Sports 20 for 20% off at the checkout.
And last but not least, if you don't do that, if you don't order one, I'm going to come to your house personally, and we're going to square up right away. But if I do that, hey, we have an attorney for you. 1-800-HURT-123, attorney Big Al, Jason Fine, my former boss and my actual boss right now. 3 office locations: Philadelphia, Cherry Hill, and Pittsburgh. So in the tri-state and New Jersey, we have you covered there. For motor vehicles, slip and fall, workman's comp, personal injury claims, give my man Jason a call. 1-800-HURT-123 for all your personal injury needs. So man, wow. So guys, let's real quick. We got about 10 minutes here because we have a great and new exciting show coming on right after this one here. So I can't wait for that one. We'll just give you a little relay of it here. The Old School Show, 1993 Phillies edition with Joe Sullivan, Sean Kilray. Fuji, you're on there too, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, and also Dave Yarnell hosts the extra innings with Joe Sullivan as well. So please check that out. Show will be on 8:30 right after here. So we got about 15 minutes here before we hop out of here, guys. Let's go into week one. Fuji, you're going to be playing the Patriots this week, and talk to me about what you see real quick. What's going on with the Patriots here? What scares you? What doesn't scare you? Talk to me about week one, Fuji.
I mean, hey, Mac. I don't know. Mac Jones, not really too worried about him, but who the hell knows? Hey, I know it's Tom Brady Day. I'm sure that fan base will be juiced, jacked, all the above, and it's Belichick. The guy's still, a great defensive mind, and I don't know what he's going to have in store. I'm just going to keep it real. I think this game might be a little closer than what some people think. I mean, it's just, it's a new season, some new players. Cam Jurgens playing, making the playing right guard, filling in for Isaac Salamalu, went to Pittsburgh. So new running game, a lot of targets on the Eagles' back. I mean, actually my, what do you call it? Not my profile picture. The other one says embrace the target. with the Eagles logo in the middle. But you know, everybody's gunning for the Eagles, especially.
Hey, when you're on top of the totem pole, Foods, you have to be. You have target on your back, brother.
Hey,
you know that.
You know, you're the NFC champs. You know, you had Kansas City. You know, it was two different halves, but you just couldn't deliver the big blow. And you know, it's
true.
It's a new team. It's, you know, you got some young rookies, as we said, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis stepping in for the first time, Nolan Smith. You know, you got some young players in the secondary, Nakobe Dean at linebacker. The question is, can this defense repeat what they did last year? I doubt it. I mean, 70-plus sacks. Yeah. I mean, that's got some big shoes to fill on that line with Javon Hargrave going. But, you know, if Jordan Davis is the player everybody expects him to be, Jalen Carter steps right in, there shouldn't be any reason why this Eagles defensive front shouldn't be one of the best in the NFL.
Well, you got a comment there. Mike Kaepernick Jr. says Eagles win easily. I don't know, Fuge. I don't think it's going to be an easy win. I mean, the word that I like to say with the Eagles fans, with the Eagles team this year, superior team, yes. Dominant, yes. The one thing that I want to use with the Eagles terminology is you have the players, but you have to execute on the field. Speaking more of your defense as well, just like you said.
Well, that's what I said. I mean, the offense should take care of itself. And the thing of it is, Hurts can't be running 160 attempts. That's why you got four. That's why you got four backs. I don't know if for sure Penny will make the team.
I think Penny's going to be the odd man out. I think Penny's going to be the odd man out.
You know, this is why you traded, and DeAndre Swift personally.
Yeah, he's actually been to my house quite a few times. Actually,
right.
Back when he was
the thing of it is, I mean, get the screen game going, take the pressure off Hurts. But him. You know, he wants to make things happen. So hopefully he'll take a step back and let the running game take care of itself.
Now, real quick, Mike Beverman says, now, who is Mac Jones throwing the ball to? That's the thing with the Patriots. You really look at it. You look at Brady. Brady's a different animal. I'm not going to take anything away from him or give him any added that he don't need. But you look at the days with Belichick's not Belichick's office. You're looking at Josh McDaniels' offense back in the day. Yep. The one year they had Randy Moss was a highlight film. That year was record-breaking. But you look at Mac Jones, I think that's what hurts Mac Jones. They don't give him weapons to throw to. You put Mac Jones on another team, he might be legit. He might be a legit QB.
I mean, really, the only guy I know he's really going to throw to probably is Juju Smith-Schuster. And he's
something. I mean, he's not great, but
he's something.
In a while.
He's something, but he's been a bounce-to-brown wide receiver too. You know what I mean? You go to a Super Bowl
last year,
right? You go to a Super Bowl champion, and then you get booted off that team as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the thing of it is, like ever since he got hurt, and first of all, he's been hurt a couple of years, and then when Antonio Brown left Pittsburgh, I mean, he was basically exposed. I mean, he was 1,000-yard multiple years, and then AB left, and his production just went down.
Sure, agree. My preference lames basically the entire defense. There's no problem with this defense. I agree with you. There is no problem with the defense.
Not the point.
But the one word to me is you can practice on the practice field and be the best of the cream of the crop out there. But when you get on the field, the one word, like I said earlier, execute.
It's a new scheme. It's
a new scheme, exactly.
Well, that's the thing. Right. Everybody always says everybody looks good in practice, but Brian Dawkins always said anybody can look great in practice. It's what you do in the game on the field.
Exactly.
When you're learning new defense, it's a little rough.
I mean, I think that starts with Little League too. Like I coach up here, and my defense, I run same damn plays. That's why I like Eric Bieniemy. With Steve said, Eric Bieniemy. Everybody's saying he's too harsh on the practice field. Well, I love that because if you don't get it right on the practice field, you're not going to get it right in the game. And if you do it 10 times on the practice field, get it right 9 times, it becomes a easier flow on game day. Practice what you do. Trial and error. That's why I love. I mean, it's a different terminology, a different verbiage, of course, different scheme as well. I mean, you lost your defensive coordinator. New scheme.
That's all.
Yep. But the word is execute. I'm not bashing it, Mike. I agree with you 100%. The word is execute.
It's a new year. I mean, it's not 2022 anymore. I mean, let's all turn the page. We're in the present now.
Yep.
Exactly.
We could all go back to that 2017, but it's a new year.
True.
different scheme, different coordinators. Everybody's zero. No wins, no losses across the board.
There'll be a good defense though, regardless. Like I think they'll be good.
He also says the Eagles' defense might not be last year's defense, but it goes both ways for every team. Right, exactly, 100%.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, ours might be better.
That's every team. Look at the Giants. I mean, they went out and solidified the offense. The Dallas Cowboys have a great defense. Went out and picked Gilmore up. I'm really stoked about that.
Yeah.
Another solid corner on the other side. But the thing is, who knows what happens in OT? Not OTAs preseason here. You're not going to play. But what happens on 7-on-7 in your camp down at the NovaCare? Somebody pulls a muscle. Somebody does this. It's all about being healthy. We lost Obershon already.
Yep.
One of the huge points on our team.
Yep.
Well, I mean, hey, you get these ACLs, and it's always non-con, no contact.
Mm-hmm. And Mike says New England has a new OC. I'm curious to see about that as well because, the best times they had was Josh McDaniels. Say what you want.
I think they got Bill O'Brien back. I think
it is. He's a great OC. Going back to Josh McDaniels, he's a great OC, not a great head coach, but Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien is what it was. Mm-hmm.
Well, if I was a Texans fan, I would have shot Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, exactly.
Get rid of DeAndre Hopkins and.
Well, I think it was one of those points where you knew you were about out the door, so I'm just going to,
right,
crash the Titanic right here, and I'm going down. Oh. Every damn player's going down too.
If you go back, what was it? The year before COVID, or 2 years. I mean, they were in the AFC Championship game against Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it the year before COVID?
I think it was like the year before.
It was 18 or 19 they played.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was 19.
Okay. Well, Dan, listen. Commanders fans are not here. They play the Arizona Cardinals. We won't talk about that, guys. Next Tuesday, check into the Commanders Gridiron at 7 p.m. They will talk about that. Steve will take care of that one. But, Dan, let's talk about week one here. Let's talk about week one here, Dan.
Hell yeah.
All right, I'm sitting back with my popcorn.
Oh, you got your popcorn ready, Fooch?
Watching you two jabronis go at it.
You want me to go first?
Sure, go right ahead.
Well, obviously, we're playing the Cowboys for like the 99th time on opening day. So, but I feel a little better going into this game. My concerns, I would say, the run defense. Even though they've added people like Overshawn,
Overshawn's out. Overshawn's out now.
Not Overshawn. What's his name from the Rams? I can't remember his name at the moment. Defensive tackle from the Rams. I can't remember his name at the moment. I'll remember it. But my concerns are their run defense, because their run defense was 31st last year. And the biggest concern for me is the secondary versus your wide receivers. Versus Dallas wide receivers, that's probably the biggest thing I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Because I think, and also, getting to Dak Prescott, getting pressure on him. But the biggest thing is we could do nothing about their receivers. Like, that's the thing. We just couldn't stop them last year. And, their pass defense is okay.
And they've upgraded with Brandon Cooks, too.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the Giants, had two really good draft picks. They had Deontay Banks, who looks really good. Mm-hmm. He's really fast, can stay on the hip of a receiver. So I'm wondering where they're going to play him. And, but he's a rookie. So, they're going to be looking for, ways to take advantage of that. And John Michael Schmitz obviously is a huge draft pick. Mm-hmm. And it's a big test for him, and that's probably one of my bigger concerns.
Okay,
is the offensive line and Neal. Is Neal going to have one of those games where he gives up 3 sacks?
So is that why you don't like DeMarcus Lawrence, huh? Because
that's why I don't like that. That's kind of why. But
I knew that was coming.
I'd have to think about who I really hate, because I hate a lot of players in the division. But anyway,
right.
But like I said, I really like the additions they made on the offense this year, and that's probably the biggest difference.
I agree.
From the past couple of years of this year. Hyatt, Waller. You're going to have Paris Campbell. You're going to have Slayton. You're going to have Shepard maybe. You have Cole Beasley, who's a good veteran, which I like. So I'm interested to see how this offense does. But getting Waller and then Hyatt to beat you over the top.
Gotcha.
I feel good for the offense going in this game, but are we going to be able to stop you guys? And I don't really know. But I'm pretty happy, confident, but I don't know if we're going to win the game.
Gotcha. Okay. We have a couple comments out there with predictions and scores. Before we get out of here, we have about 10 minutes left before we get out of here, because we do have another show coming right after this one. We'll get into all the scores real quick before we get out of here. Michael, I'm not avoiding you. I'm going to play your comment when we get to comments. But Dan, I agree with you 100%. I think our offense, our wide receivers, we have the advantage there over your secondary. It's a little bit younger as well. We know we can do it. Plus the addition is Brandon Cooks. I mean, to me, if McCarthy's smart, he's going to move CD outside, inside, Cooks inside, outside.
That's what I would do.
Along with, a Gallup on the outside too, to make that corner, just like you said, that rookie corner, make him think like, do I play slot? What do I do? Get him in coverages confuse him exactly. Show him different schemes that we set up. Make him think on the fly. But number two, I think the best time for us is the offensive line now. Everybody's healthy. Zach comes back. Terrence Steele, both Smiths, and the weakest link to us is Tyler Baez at center. That's my weakest link there. But the good thing is everybody's healthy. But what you said about getting the running game is good. You said the running game scares you a little bit from Dallas.
Well, the Giants' run defense was 31st last year.
I disagree with you there. I think you guys have the advantage there because let's talk about
now
this.
We might. Let's
talk about this. Tony Pollard's coming off an injury, hasn't played all preseason. Still running on the boundaries. Hasn't been playing 7-on-7 yet. So he's avoided contact on every game flow, game speed.
That's not good.
Ronald Jones back up too. Suspended 2 games. Okay.
Who's
now
playing?
So now you think about it. You get a 80% Tony Pollard, which is still great for many teams. Started on many teams. Then you have Deuce Vaughn, Malik Davis, or Rico Dowdy as your 2-back. That is scary to me.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, they just struggle versus the run, but the Giants have better linebackers now. You have Thibodeau,
that's what I mean. I think
Ojulari,
right,
and now you added Simmons,
exactly
as well, and then you have Okirike. It's a totally different. You don't have Jalen Smith in there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a close game.
I think it's going to be good. I do too.
And the other thing to me is I'm really scared about it. I'll give you my prediction as well. I'm probably going to be rocking a Daniel Jones jersey. I think I will be. I honestly will say that right now. But well, not only do I think it's you caught him at the right time. And the other thing I want to say is Dak hasn't even touched the field yet, brother.
He's going to be rusty, and Wink is going to
very rusty.
Throw the sink at him.
And what better time? You know what? Pin your ears back, and get the Dak fast.
That's the thing. That's the thing that what I want is that sometimes they weren't really able to do that last year.
Very true.
This year, I'm hoping that Thibodeau is able to pin his ears back, and then when you get Simmons in the mix, you put Simmons, him, and Ojulari on the field at the same time, then you got something dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Last year we didn't really have that. It was totally different. But I think the biggest concern for defensively is getting torched in the pass game.
That's what I think the advantage.
That's what we've struggled with.
If the offensive line can give Dak a time,
that's bad news.
And he's on point with the ball. Okay, not rusty.
Bad news.
It's going to be bad news because I think we have the advantage with the wide receivers. I mean, we have 3 wide receivers and our tight ends, Shoemaker, Hendershot, and also Pendergrass coming in. I think we have the advantage there. But I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I don't think it's going to be high though with this defenses what we have. I really.
I agree with that. The Giants defense was pretty solid last year. Besides the run wasn't good, but it was much better than previous years, and they didn't have the players.
Gotcha.
With the right skill sets in the positions. Now I think they're more oriented towards that. All right. I think it's going to be a good game.
I think so too. Well, guys, we got like 2 minutes before we get out of here because we do have another show coming on. The 93 Phillies, the old school edition is going to be on right on after us at 8:30. So listen, if you want to go take a trip down memory lane, check them out. But Fuji, what is the score of your Patriots-Eagles game? Real quick. We do have another week to talk about it, but maybe we'll revisit this next week too.
Let me get back to you. Nah, I'm joking. No, I'm going to say Birds 31, Patriots 20.
Okay, 31-20. All right, Dan, we'll talk about our game real quick. What's the score real quick? I know we got another week here. We'll talk about it a little bit later next week on the next week. I want to hear this because I'm not going to be on here. You won't be on here. Fuji won't be here. 4 new hosts next week.
I'm going to say 24-21.
Who? Cowboys?
Giants.
Oh, I thought you were like, you're on the fence there, like you didn't really know there. Okay.
No, Giants.
All right. I hate to say this, Cowboy Nation. I love Cowboy Nation. I'm rubbing my little genie out there for good luck, but I think it's going to be a 20. Listen, Fuji, okay? You know what? Don't make it worse. I don't like Eagles fans as they are. Don't add to the fucking fire here, okay?
You should know by now.
I know.
Philly, flipping Philly. Nobody likes us. We don't give a flip.
Yeah, we'll stop drinking that
scoop
of water.
because it's Jason Kelce.
We'll stop drinking that contaminated scoop of water, and you guys will be all right.
You lived here for 30 years and drank the contaminated.
That's why I'm all screwed up. That's why I'm screwed up,
Well,
brother.
there you
know
go.
that. And I'm
There
a
you
Cowboys
go.
fan.
Then there's your answer.
But Dan, I agree. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a 26-21 Giants victory. I really do. It could change next week. I don't know. We'll see. But guys, it's been a great week. And the one thing I want to say to all the fans out there, I'm a Cowboy fan. Dan is a Giants fan.
Yep.
Fuji's an Eagles fan. Steve is unfortunately he's not with us tonight. He's actually saving fires out there in Washington as a Commander fan. But the one thing I want to say, as much trash talk we talk to each other, I can honestly say if I needed something, Steve Fuji, I can call you at a drop of a dime. Danny, I can call you at a drop of a dime. We don't hold anything against each other. We're fans of the game, number one, and that's what I respect about every one of you guys on this network.
Absolutely, man. Back at you.
Same here.
Definitely. So, guys, we will be back. I think we'll do this maybe 3 weeks. So we'll try to keep the same 3 up here with Steve as well. So next week, Dan, who's going to be your host for next week?
Evan.
Evan's going to be on, and Fuji, who's going to be on for you?
I think.
So
I'm assuming, but
all right.
he would be on
You can do it.
93 Phillies with me.
Sounds good. And for myself, I'm going to have Dave Yarnold, the showstopper, my little brother, hopping on for you guys. Please don't bash him too hard. Be nice to him, okay? All right. So, guys, for myself, but real quick, I just want to know, Steve, I know I have to take my last shot. I'm going to leave it here real quick. Steve, I just want to ask you for next week, what the hell is Major Tuddy? Okay? That's all I want to ask you. I'm going to leave it there. So, guys, we're out of here. We will see you next week.
Oh, yeah. Go Birds.
Stay tuned.
Go Big Blue.
Stay tuned for the next show, Old School Show, in about 12 minutes. So, guys, we'll see you next week. Have a great
Have
evening.
a good weekend.